That's got to be a nice feeling just before you step in the ring.
Zemfi from Thailand looking ready to go.
I like the long, lean body.
From our
Zemfi.
distance, it looks like Zemfi is the taller, rangier fighter, so it might be a similar fight to the fight which we had before.
But I certainly like the way Fujiki walked to the ring, though. You know, very, very confident and businesslike. You know, marching to the ring. I like the way that looked. We'll see if that what that translates to once the bout starts. But you see that long, rangy body in that red corner.
Definitely a height advantage there for Zemfi from Thailand, and the action will get underway in just a moment. In our fourth bout of the afternoon so far. We hope that you're enjoying everything which you're watching. A good jab there from Fujiki from Japan in blue. Zemfi in red representing Thailand. And Fujiki got through with a good straight 1-2 there, didn't he?
He did. I like the way he realized immediately that first jab he threw got through. Why not send it again with a little bit of company? The very next thing he does is the jab followed by the right hand. Both got home. Good way to start if you are Team Japan and Fujiki.
We've got a southpaw versus an orthodox fighter here. These can sometimes make for messy fights.
I like the right hand by Fujiki getting to the head of Zemfi. And I'm a little surprised how early on in this contest that height and reach advantage isn't doing a better job of keeping Fujiki, you know, away from Zemfi.
And one of them's just switched stance. I can't work out which one it was, but maybe there was just a moment of madness and they're both orthodox fighters, or maybe I'll blame it on the jet lag.
Well, I tell you what, if one of them switched, it probably should have been Zemfi, because that Fujiki is getting to him, you know, in this contest, early on here in this contest. So we may want to change something.
Zemfi is very good at throwing that jab upstairs and then digging in deep with that straight right hand to the body. He's thrown it 2 or 3 times already, and I bet we'll see it again before this round ends. There we go, switching stance. I wasn't going mad.
I like the patience of Fujiki in this situation. He understands that he doesn't have the height and the reach, so he's taking his time. He's being patient, and he doesn't throw a punch until he's in range. See, that jab not missing. He's waiting until he knows he can reach Zemfi before he lets his hands go.
He does, and he gets that timing right as well. So he just, and that was a very good 1-2. And that was exactly what I was getting onto. He kind of knows exactly the right time to throw it. He doesn't leave it too long. He doesn't throw it too soon either.
Right. And it's like in the bout earlier with Kumamoto and Chance. You know, this is very different. What we're seeing right here, we see Fujiki having much more success getting to his opponent, because Zemfi is not as concerned about the distance because he's coming forward himself.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how the judges score this, because Zemfi has done some good work, but the tidier, the more calculated, and the clever work has come from Japan, in my opinion.
I would agree with that, and there may be a mixed bag of scores in this first round, but I would not be surprised to see Fujiki get it on all 5 cards.
Well, let's see what the judges think about that. Wow.
I'll just sit here and let you marvel at my analysis.
You are. Have you got those lottery numbers?
But there you see it, you know, 10-9 on all 5 cards, pitching a shutout here, you know, in that first round is Fujiki, and I think it speaks to the things that we talked about during the bout. You said in that first round that you saw the cleaner punches, you know, the more efficient, you know, the ring generalship, and the patience of him, not doing things to get himself in trouble. He's waiting for those opportunities, and he has been very efficient with his offense. Not a lot of swings and misses. You know, he has looked good. I wish I could see CompuBox numbers for what he did in that first round. I think that he's got a pretty high connect percentage in that first round. Good work by Fujiki and that team from Japan. Let's see what adjustment they've made in that red corner.
A word you used there is a word I should have used in that opening round, and he is an efficient fighter. He doesn't waste anything, does he?
He doesn't.
And that's a big skill to have, especially at this age and with this style of boxing.
And now you see that lead right hand being thrown by Fujiki. He's seen some things that he's liked, probably something that was mentioned to him in the corner between rounds, something that they know that they can get away with. And you see stepping in and being aggressive. Fujiki has got some nice things going.
Zenfi just looking a little hesitant before he's going in and throwing those shots.
Getting hit in the face will do that to you.
It tends to have that effect, doesn't it?
Yes, it's a simple formula. You know, Fujiki, he's scoring. I'm not going to go so far as to say he's scoring at will, but, you know, the connect percentage is high for him, maybe even very high. As you see, doubling up the jab, pushing the head back of Zenfi right now, and now hooking to the body. Fujiki, again, efficient and effective.
Very effective. And Fujiki, not only is
that
he very
left
efficient,
hook to the body hurt Zenfi. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It did.
He's a little unsteady.
Right under the right elbow of Zenfi, and he knows he's hurting because he's just thrown it there again, and you know he's going to target that part of the body, isn't he? And he's starting to break down his man here from Thailand, and this is becoming target practice.
And that efficiency is really showing right now in that moment where Zenfi is a little bit in trouble. Fujiki is not wasting time. He's not headhunting. He's not just throwing wild punches. He is systematically taking him apart.
He is, and I get a feeling that we're going to have a standing 8 count before this round is over. If this continues in the same way that it has done over the last 45 seconds or so, because this really has been target practice for Fujiki in blue from Japan, who is landing with almost every jab, and the shots which Zenfi is throwing back at him, he's covering up well and taking them on the arms, on the elbows, on the gloves, and they're not necessarily getting through in any way.
That hook to the body, again, he threw one just a moment ago. He knows that left hook to the body is hurting Zenfi. He's waiting for his chance to let it go again.
And Fujiki is annoying Zenfi with that jab of his. He's not snapping his head back every time of it, but he's just shoving it in his face, and he's being irritating. And that will be demoralizing for the man from Thailand, and that will break his heart and his soul eventually. And Fujiki will make him pay for it when he switches off. And that was another good body shot, this time under the left elbow from Zenfi. Or, sorry, from Fujiki to Zenfi.
Good right hand by Fujiki, and also stepping on the front foot of Zenfi as well, just as he was getting ready to back away. One of the things that you have to deal with sometimes when you switch stances, when you go from orthodox, you know, to southpaw, you have to be aware of your front foot. And there you look at that second round, and we don't see this as much as we should. Not just pitching a shutout, but 10-8 on every card for the blue corner, and Fujiki representing Team Japan. It has been surgical what he has done to Zenfi.
That is a proper shutout, isn't it? That is a dominant round. You don't tend to get them as dominant as that, do you, on this side of things?
You know, especially not when you are in the finals of a tournament such as this, you know, so this is a gold medal bout right here. And again, it's something that we talked about earlier in the broadcast, you know, when you happen to see at this level that much distance between number 1 and number 2, between first and second, it's so impressive to think about that. And you imagine the number of boxers that Zenfi has bested, you know, in his amateur career so far, to be in here now with a guy that is just clearly outclassing him.
Outclassing him, he is, as we go into the third and final round in this under-19s men's 60-kilogram world championship here in Colorado, USA. If you're just joining us, we've had some fantastic bouts already this evening, and Yuga Fujiki from Japan is bossing this. He's just had a 10-8 round on all 5 of the judges' scorecards, and he'll be looking to do exactly the same thing in the last 2.5 minutes of this bout.
And he's going to the body even more now. You see that straight jab to the body, and then following it with the right hook upstairs. he has Zenfi exactly where he wants him at this point in this contest.
He does, and he's continuing with that irritating jab and just sitting in the pocket there and throws a lovely lead hook to the body. He threw one upstairs, and then it made the left arm of Zenfi come up, and then he just punished him for it immediately, digging a left hook into the body. But Zenfi came back with a backhand uppercut there, which just grazed the nose of Fujiki from Japan.
He did, but when you look at the body language of Fujiki, it does not seem that he has any concern about the power of Zenfi right now.
And a bit more work there from Zenfi. Starting to liven up a little bit now, but nothing which is too effective, if we're going to tell the truth.
The best punch in that last exchange was that right hook from Zenfi to the head of Fujiki, but Fujiki's still right there. We talked about keeping him, in the front yard. Fujiki has kicked in the front door, and he's sitting on the couch right now.
I want to know where he ends up by the end of this. We've got 1 minute to find out. As Fujiki just on that front foot again, and Zenfi tries to give him a taste of his own medicine as he throws a left hook under the right elbow. But it doesn't do anything to the man from Japan as he just corners him once again. And a nice right hand there. That was sweet and came out of nowhere.
And there you see the standing 8 count, with that right hand. He's become, Zenfi has become so aware of those punches, those hooks to the body, that Fujiki was able to throw that right hand right down Broadway.
He was. And here he comes again with every intention of throwing it one more time. Well, how many more times he can throw it in the remainder of this third and final round. And Zenfi finds himself again on the ropes as Fujiki does get caught though. He tried to turn and looked like he was going to try and throw a right hook to the body or a straight right hand to the body and got caught with a straight right hand himself.
He did. Zenfi threw one of his best punches in that moment. It was good footwork by Zenfi.
Of good work in this fight, but you've touched on it a lot in terms of there's just levels in this, isn't there? And he was outclassed, but there was many a time where Zenfi would slip a shot and then come back with a really tidy textbook counter, whether that was a lead hook or uppercut to the body or if it was something upstairs. He did do lots of good stuff, and we're not going to take anything away from him, but today he was outclassed.
He definitely was, and you can tell, with the switching, from southpaw, to orthodox is probably something that he's been able to utilize to his advantage in other contests. I'm sure he didn't just, decide to do that today for the very first time, but the beauty of what was happening in that other corner is that Fujiki was ready for it.
The winner on points by unanimous decision in the blue corner from Japan,
पूरी कुंडली निकाल के दे देंगे आपको कि आप किससे मिलोगे, कहाँ मिलोगे, लव मैरिज होगी, अरेंज मैरिज होगी, वो इंसान दिखता कैसा होगा। और ये जो ऐप है एस्ट्रोटॉक, ये अपनी फर्स्ट चेक फ्री देते हैं, तो आप वहां पे जाके बात कर लो यार, जान लो जो जानना है।
But an extremely comfortable win for Japan and their second gold medal of these championships.
And a dominant performance. You see 30-26 on 3 of the cars, 30-25 on the other 2. I mean, that says it all right there, Darren. When you're looking at it in those numbers, you can't argue with it. It was a masterful performance. And when you think about what we saw in that contest, it was exactly what we saw from the opening bell. Seconds after the bell rang, Fujiki came across the ring, threw a jab that moved the head of Zenfi. The very next thing he did was throw that same jab and then a straight right hand behind it, and it was all downhill from there.
It did. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he knew how to do it. Well, that was about 4 of the afternoon so far, and we've got one more bout to bring you before we go to a medal ceremony, and then we'll be back for another 5 fantastic contests of boxing. We are completely spoilt, and we hope that you're all enjoying this at home, especially if you're massive boxing fans. And I know that there'll be people tuning in from all over the world watching their people, their friends, their son, their daughter, or whoever it is. And I hope that you're enjoying it as much as we are.
I mean, I can't imagine why anyone wouldn't be enjoying this as much as we are. If you are here, you're a boxing fan, and this is exactly what boxing is about.
65-kilogram division. The judges from Ireland, Mongolia, Italy, Japan, and Colombia. The referee from Canada, Wade Peterson. And now we introduce the boxers. In the red corner, from Netherlands, vsjaoan. In the blue corner, from India,
And Gadival from India there just gives a big fist pump into the air to her teammates from India. And he's loving the occasion, and why wouldn't you?
I tell you what, the boxers for Team India must get a running start back there, because they always get so far ahead of their coaches.
They just run off.
The coach is always trying to catch up to them. You know, enthusiasm is the theme for Team India. I love it. I love it.
Can India get their hands on another gold? My goodness, have they had some opportunities to do so.
They have.
Regardless, at the absolute worst, there'll be another silver medal added to that medal table, which is not bad by any stretch of the imagination at all.
Well, and then on top of that, let's think about the fact that, I mean, I know the viewing audience at home may not have the schedule of the bouts that are going to take place today, but after our medal ceremony, which is coming up, after this bout for our first 5 victors, 3 more boxers from India are going to get a shot at a gold medal in the second half of our day. I mean, it's almost unbelievable how successful they have been.
It is. Well, Hopemar in red representing Netherlands, and Gadival in blue representing India in the under-19 women's 65-kilogram world championship final here in Colorado, USA. And a bit of feinting to kick things off from Hopemar immediately.
Gadival has an interesting stance that she employs inside the ring. Comes in the crouch, and I'm wondering if we're going to see her explode, up, and there we go. There it is right there.
Just as you said it happens.
Looking to generate power when she gets inside. Those are some meaningful punches.
Yeah, Hopemar just kind of pushes off the canvas with that right foot and just launches towards Gadival with that right hand, doesn't she? And it's quick, and it comes out of nowhere, and Gadival has got to have her wits about her and make sure she doesn't get caught with that, because I could bet my bottom dollar that it's going to be a theme of this one.
Absolutely, and so it's going to come down to whether or not Gadival is going to be able to time that, stay out of the way of it, capitalize on it, make her pay for trying it. That's going to be what this is about, and from that southpaw stance, probably has a pretty good chance at doing it, as you see that counter left hand get home for Gadival and that team from India.
Gadival is a good counter puncher. I've picked up on that already, but Hopemar is just getting on the inside and not allowing her to be the counter puncher, which she is, and you can see it as she stands there in her southpaw stance, just keeping that jab out, trying to keep Hopemar at range, and then trying to counter on her entrance, just like she did there, but the two become tangled up quite often. But we've again got a good contest, which is well matched.
Absolutely, good exchange there that's taking place in the ring. So, you know, it's one of those situations where scoring-wise it'll be interesting. But it looks as if, you know, Godiwal feels pretty confident about what she has done so far in this first round.
And Hopemar just throws a right hook on the break there, and the two get straight back to action. And Godiwal got caught with it was a lead hook by the looks of it. Once again, these punches are coming out so quick, even from where we're sat. It's hard to tell because they've got fast hands, but then there goes that lunging right hand by Hopemar from the Netherlands once again. As we go into the last few seconds of this opening round in this 65-kilogram contest. Let's see what the judges say.
Well, I tell you what, I think there'll be a mixed bag, but I like India's chance to be a little bit ahead at the end of this first round. We'll see what the judges have to say. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
He's done it again, and I can promise you, he's not seeing it any quicker than what you are. Everything which you see on the screen is exactly as it happens. It is as live as it gets.
4 of the 5 judges at ringside can all agree that Godiwal and that team from India, you know, did a better job in that first round. And I tell you what, I mean, there were good things from both boxers, and there's a lot to build on if you're Team Netherlands over there in that red corner with Hopemar. But in that first round, I thought that Godiwal did a good job of adjusting to that lunging. It worked a little bit better in the beginning of the round than it did in the latter stages of the round, and I thought Godiwal did a nice job of scoring as Hopemar came forward.
She did, and let's see what this round in particular has got in store for us as we go into the second round of 3. And Hopemar, super quick with those reactions, and is coming flying out, trying to land those shots, but Godiwal is having none of it. She just turns out and away from the ropes, which is exactly the same, which is exactly the thing to do. She doesn't want to be stuck in the same place for too long because Hopemar will make her pay for it.
Hopemar is definitely trying to get inside. That's what she wants, lunging in from the outside. Just throwing and even possibly landing that first punch when she lunges inside is not going to be enough to win this contest. She's going to have to do more once she gets there. You know, she's got to try to just maul Godiwal once she gets inside. She can't be one and done or even two and done once she lunges inside, because she's allowing Godiwal to finish, you know, the encounter and throw the last punches in the exchange.
It's a good point, and Godiwal just threw a long straight 1-2 there, and Hopemar didn't move an inch, and it was the perfect distance away because neither of those shots landed, and then she was in the right place to spring off the canvas and then throw those shots. And just as I say that, she does exactly that with 2 or 3 straight shots, 1 to the body and 2 upstairs.
Right, and the best one of those was the last one that she threw as she was backing away, so she finished that exchange, and that's what she's going to need to do against Godiwal.
Both fighters sticking around the center of the ring for the moment as Godiwal throws a few shots which land on the head guard of Hopemar. And look, is that a sign of confidence from Hopemar, or is that just a distracting technique? I'm not sure, but here comes Godiwal from India, who is by no means out of this fight in any way.
Well, I tell you what it ultimately ended up being, and that was a mistake. You can't stand there and do that. You can't be close enough to get hit and not be able to respond. So that's not a good position for Hopemar to be in. She's standing on the end of the punches of Godiwal in that moment and allowing Godiwal to be first. That's not the formula that you want.
Well, I'm going to be very interested to see how the judges see this one, because there has been good boxing from both of these boxers in this round, and both have done some eye-catching stuff and stuff which the judges will like. But will it be one of those rounds where it comes down to the last 10 seconds
We'll find
where
out
they
now.
make their decision? And the two of them come to blows again on the far side of the ring.
Interesting round right there, and I think you'll see a bit of the same that we got at the end of the first round, maybe more. As I'm saying, maybe more. There you have it, and it is more. And because the lunging in that Hopema did to start the contest has gotten less effective as we have gone on, here, in this bout. And so she's going to have to do something else along with that. She needs to be first. She can't allow Gurdiwal to throw punches from the outside before she gets started. And then you can't just jump in and throw one or two punches and then take a couple at the end of the exchange. She needs to be first. She needs to be last. If you are not close enough to touch Gurdiwal, great. But don't get close enough for Gurdiwal to touch you and you not be close enough to, to fire back effectively. Let's not do that. But now it's the third round. You throw all of that strategy out of the window. If you're a Hopema, you just go for broke right now. Let your hands go and see what happens.
She's certainly got no choice. And straight on the front foot, pressurizing Gurdiwal, but misses as Gurdiwal beautifully just turns away, changes the angle, and makes Hopema punch thin air. And I don't think the problem is being the urgency or anything like that from Hopema. I think it's just the boxing ability from Gurdiwal has just been better. It's just been that tiny bit better, and she's landed on more of the exchanges, and that is what the judges have seen so far in the two opening rounds.
They are, and I found it interesting right there. You saw the official warn Gurdiwal about moving her glove around, her lead glove. I mean, with what we've seen Hopema do, this entire bout, I find it interesting that is what got the officials' attention.
And Hopema getting frustrated there, wanted the referee to get involved and break them clean sooner, because she knows that she's got to do something special in this round if she's going to become world champion. At the moment, it's India's Gurdiwal who is going to have a hand raised.
You notice that Hopema has, and now she's employing a more conventional stance where she's carrying her gloves. You see her now boxing, looking more conventional in her approach. And maybe this would have, if she had started that earlier in this contest, maybe been more effective, because the style that she was using just wasn't working.
It wasn't, and she's very quickly running out of time, because the seconds go past fast when you need more time to turn a fight around like this. And Gurdiwal is just bouncing and dancing around the ring, just staying out of range, just making sure she doesn't get hit. She's going to have to do a bit of work, because the referee will remind her what we're here to see and what to do. And there is the work as she throws a 1-2 lead hook, and the two become tangled up yet again. Both of them with their hands raised, saying, look, it's not me, ref, I'm not the one holding.
It's not me.
And a big lunging forward right hand again from Hopema, who hasn't given up for any moment of this bout. But although she hasn't given up, she's just not being as successful as she needed to be.
No, not at all. And you see, Gurdiwal on the outside starting to throw more combinations. And again, Hopema not where you want to be, and that's on the end of the punches of Gurdiwal.
She landed a couple of good shots there on the ropes, did Hopema. But here we go, 10 seconds. And Gurdiwal just turning her back there, and I think that's what the referee was just saying, don't turn your back. Number one rule of boxing is protect yourself at all times, but that is the sound to symbolise the end of this bout. 3 rounds, Gurdiwal comfortably. We've had a few comfortable wins today, haven't we?
We have, and I think what you're seeing is that there are just some individuals that are just further along, in the process and in their growth as boxers. Again, we're talking about under 19, even though these are very skilled individuals, they're still very young and still early in their careers, as a part of where they're going to be at some point in the future. So there's a lot that's going to happen between now and the eventual end. So you're going to see those differences sometimes, and sometimes those differences can seem a lot greater than they're going to be later on, right? So, timing is everything, they say. And so maybe you're just seeing Hopima at the right time, in her career. Maybe you're seeing Gurdiwal at the wrong time. Whatever that means, we don't know, but we do know Gurdiwal has gotten that second gold medal for Team
In
India.
the blue corner, from India, Harpreet Kaur.
A dominant performance for India, and there she is, just dancing and sticking her hand up to the crowd and all the people that are here to support her. Again,